Yesterday, I had the honor of doing a memorial for a fellow Agapean, this beautiful soul, Anna Lee Aarons Dudley. I don't know if you remember Anna Lee, but if you don't, let me just describe her a little bit. She was about 5 foot tall. She had short hair. She would color that hair, many, many colors. She was always free to express. She wore beautifully well-fitted, colorful clothing. She lived her life fully. She did it in the most unique way, and what I said yesterday, she did it like Frank Sinatra would have done. She did it my way. And that inspired me about a month ago when I'd heard that Anna Lee had made her transition into the next realm, that I would talk about for the next month. How do we get the most out of life? And the first part of this talk series is today. And my talk today is going to be about that the nature of life is greater expression. I don't know if you feel this or you realize this, but we're always desiring more. And we can't stop it. There's always a greater desire to have more, to experience more, to be more, to share more, to accumulate more, to let go more, whatever it is, there's always more. And it's because I've come to understand that there is a natural urge within each of us that causes us to want to know more, do more, and be more. And that is because the nature of life is to expand. Think about that. If you've got a plant, let's say a tree, you plant a tree. That tree does not know limitation. The only limitation that tree can know is if humans do something to the tree, i.e., top it with a chainsaw or cut its limbs or whatever. That'll stop it from growing bigger. But once you do that, it's still going to try. And then if the nutrients are in the soil, that tree is going to continue to grow and grow and grow. It's natural for that tree to grow. It's natural for a vine to come up and become more. I don't know if you've got Asian jasmine as a ground cover, but if you plant a little twig of Asian jasmine and its desire is to grow, become more, off more shoots, and pretty soon it's a whole ground cover. It's the same thing with you and I. There is a natural urge in us to experience more of life. Here's the key. To experience more of life, we have to become more. We can't just wish for the experience, but we have to become more. The more we become, the more life gives us. And what's sort of interesting, it's a circular thing here. The more we experience, we naturally desire to experience more. And you know what? This is true in all areas of our lives. When we experience health, we want to experience greater health. Yeah, I don't know. I look at myself physically from the standpoint of I'm a 69-year-old man. I go to the gym, I work out, I've got this body with certain muscle in that, and yet I'm in the gym and I'm working out a little harder every day so that I can experience an even stronger body. I never just do the same workout. There's something that I'm going to do in that workout which is greater than what I've ever done before. Now, I may fail while doing it, but that's still pushing my muscles to a whole new level. If I'm on the elliptical, the other day I did 30 minutes at a level 12. I went in yesterday and I went to a level 13. I did 30 minutes. I don't know why. There's something in me that desires more. Let's take it out of that. The experience of love. I think everyone who's listening to my voice would love to have a longer, deeper, more frequent experience of love. Why? It's our natural DNA. Here, though, is the key thing with love. We only desire a greater experience of love when we're not in the experience of love. When we're in the experience of love, all desire disappears. It's only when we come out of that state of being that we desire more. I believe that pure love is such a natural and pure state that you can't improve on it. But what you can do is you can have it more often. For me, love is that state between our thoughts, the state between our breaths. It's a state where there is no desire. It's a state of perfect peace. Love has nothing to do with romance. Take that out of the equation. That's a human emotion. That's romance. That's infatuation. Love is seeing life as it is and becoming one with life. And if you're with a person, to become one with them means to become totally accepting, them of you and you of them. And it's a state where two are gathered and the two disappear into an energy of pure oneness. I also believe that the desire to expand is unique to every individual. And you know, I did that yesterday. We all have a different hierarchy of values, and these values determine what is enough and what is too much, or what do we want more of. Yesterday, I did the values workshop with these beautiful souls from all over the country. And we sat down and we went through this process, and they were able to identify their top 5 or 6 values, but more importantly, what were the top 3 things that they desired more of, that there was this natural desire to expand in these areas. When they got their clarity, you can see the lights go on. You can see, oh my God, yes. And once you get that clarity of what is most important to you, now you can really become a conscious creator. Consciously choosing thoughts, words, actions, and feelings that allow you to build a belief, and that belief becomes what you start to attract and experience in your life. But if you're not clear on what's important to you, you're going to get a very average experience, and you're going to experience in areas of life that are not meaningful to you. So it's really, for me, it's important that expansion, you determine where that expansion occurs because it's a value to you. You see, here's the other thing. Expansion is not achieved by competing, but rather by uniquely creating. It's all about making more of yourself and then sharing who you are with others and the world. We bought into the idea that for us to have more, we've got to compete against others. And what that is based on, it's based on the idea that there's limitation. And I want to tell you, there is no limitation. It's only a perception. And when you think about that, our uniqueness means that whatever we're seeking, we're the only ones that are seeking it in the way we're seeking it. So there's an infinite supply out there. And our work is to become the person who would be that man or that woman that would attract that experience. Here's what I understand about well-being. True well-being is when our expansion is balanced. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about between the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. And when I talk about the spiritual, I'm really talking about what is your level, my level of awareness. How aware are we? Are we consciously choosing something? Are we aware that we're separate? Are we aware that we're oneness? Mentally, are we expanding our knowledge of the world? Are we taking care of our physical body so that our physical body can serve as the vessel through which we can apply our knowledge, through which we become more aware, and we can have the trinity of experience? You see, that's what I believe the trinity is. The physical, the mental, and the spiritual, moving in harmony with one another, directed by our thought process, our beliefs, to have a greater and greater and greater expansion of life. You see, there is no limitation to our ability to experience a greater life. Any belief in limitation is the result of our domestication. Either we've domesticated ourselves or we have allowed others to domesticate us. And when I'm talking about domestication, I'm talking about getting us to buy into a false narrative, an untruth, to buy into the area that you can't be a millionaire. The truth is you can be. You can't have a healthy body. The truth is you can have a healthy body. The truth is I can't find a way to experience oneness. The truth is you can find a way to experience oneness. Limitation is being used to domesticate us for whatever reason, and you can tell when you're being domesticated because you will find that fear is involved. Anytime you're being taught something, to do something, to feel something, and fear is involved, it's limitation. Because life, the infinite, does not know fear. Fear is a human quality. And if you begin to understand it more, you really start to understand that fear is used to control people, to control an individual. I'm going to tell you something. That's not a divine quality. The divine quality only knows freedom. The human mind, the ego mind, responds to fear. The question is, which mind are you choosing to control you? Is it the infinite mind, the mind of love that wants a greater expression of life? Or is it the ego mind that's been conditioned, that's been domesticated to follow fear? That's our choice. You know, I can remember so clearly in 1995, I did a live event with Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins said 90% of the people of the world are motivated by fear and pain. Only 10% are influenced by the pursuit of pleasure or expansion. Where do you fall? He also made an interesting statement. He said, at this seminar, this 4-day seminar, a lot of you are going to buy a lot of my material. Videos, cassettes, all of that type of stuff. Cassettes back then, not today. Today it would be, here's a download. But back then, he says, and of the people that buy it, you're going to spend a lot of money. He says, 90% of the people will never even take it out of the package, will never even open up to use. Are you one of the people that buys a great book and you never open it to read? It just sits there. I just asked the question, why not open the great book? In the book, there may be just that point, that piece of information that allows you to tip the scale and begin an expansion like you've never had to before. You see, our job about this competing thing is never, ever, ever be afraid to lose something to someone else. Because what you seek is unique to you. No one else is really looking for what you're looking for. Only you are. And that means embracing you, embracing your uniqueness, your personality, your magnificence. You see, we're here to create, not to compete. Think about that. If you're in a relationship with someone, you're not in that relationship to compete with them. You're in the relationship to partner with them, to create new and things of that nature, things that are expansive. Our job is to know and use the creative process. And in doing so, the riches of life will be given to us. You see, my friends, life is always expanding. When we stop expanding, we begin to die. I said this yesterday. When the human body is no longer serving the soul to advance its level of awareness, the soul releases the body so it can move on in its expansion of awareness. The question I want to leave you with today is, where are you being called to grow? That's the most important question you ask yourself today. And if you listen, there's a still small voice in you that knows your answer. I invite you today to go into the stillness, to sit quietly, ask the question, what is my next step to becoming a greater expanse of me? And just listen. I promise you, the answer will come.